Hello everybody, I'm teacher Maricoco and today we're going to talk about existence. We're going to be using the subject pronoun there with the verb to be is or are. What does this mean? This is the way we would use the verb haber in Español. Okay, so there is and there are is based on the noun that you are going to use it with. And today we're going to practice with places in town. So here I have some pictures, I hope you can see them, of different places that you would find in a town or a city. For example, a bank, a bookstore, a bus stop, a cafe, a computer store, a gas station, a library, a movie theater, a music store, a post office, a restaurant, a shopping mall, a supermarket, or a train station. Of course, there are more places that you can find in a town or in a city, but these are just some examples, okay? So let's think about the city where you live. What is there in the city where you live? ¿Qué hay donde ustedes viven? A bank? Yes? No? How many? 1, 2, 3? Or many banks? Okay, well, if you can count the number of these places, you can use numbers. If there's only one, well, we only use one or an. Remember, the article a or an indicates one, okay? So imagine this is our town. So we can say that there is a bank. We don't use an, we say there is a bank. Bookstore. Yes, there is a bookstore. Okay? When would we use an? We would use an if one of these words begins with the vowel sound, but this is not the case. Anyways, we will post later another video to explain to you the difference in using a or an, all right? Okay, so in a city, it would be common to find not one bus stop, but maybe 2, 3, 4, hundreds of bus stops, depending on the city. Well, let's imagine this is a very small town and there are 5. So in that case, you would use the plural form. There are 5 bus stops, okay? There are 5 bus stops. What about gas stations? 1, 2, 3. Usually there's more than one. Imagine in my city there are 4. So you would say there are 4 gas stations. Okay? Remember that when you are using numbers that are 2 and more, you have to use the plural form of the noun. So bank becomes banks, bookstore, bookstores, bus stop, bus stops, cafe, cafes, computer store, computer stores, gas station, gas stations, libraries, movie theaters, music stores, post offices, restaurants, shopping malls, supermarkets, and train stations. Okay, this is the way you would use there is and there are in an affirmative way. When you say that something exists, one or more than one. Okay? Okay, so now we're going to see the negative form of there is and there are. When you use a negative form of there is and there are, means zero, nothing, nada. Which means that in your city or in the place that you are talking about, there is nothing of this. So here I have four examples: a train station, a theater, a shopping mall, and a street market. Okay, so imagine in your city there is no train station, no theater, no shopping mall, no street market, okay? There's two ways that you can indicate this. Either you use the singular form or the plural form, okay? So if you use the singular form, you would say, there isn't a train station. There isn't a train station, okay? There isn't a theater. There isn't a theater. So you are saying zero. There isn't. Okay, you can also use a plural form with there aren't. But in this case, you have to add this word any. Any is a way to intensify the zero, the nothing, okay? So there aren't any shopping malls. Remember, if you're going to use a plural form, you have to use a plural form of the noun. So there aren't any shopping malls. There aren't any markets. There aren't any markets. You are using the plural form, you have to use the plural form of market, which is markets. Okay, so whether you use the singular form or the plural form, they both mean zero. You just have to be careful that if you use the singular form, everything is singular. Is a train station. Singular, singular, singular. Or if you're going to use a plural, plural and plural. Okay? Okay, now we're going to see the question form. Okay, so finally we're going to see the question form for there is and there are. And the way to make questions about existence is just inverting the verb to be with our subject, which is there. So now we say is there or are there for questions. Okay? Again, we have the singular form and the plural form. If we want to use a singular noun, we would use, again, the verb to be is, or the form of is. Is there a, for example, is there an aquarium? Is there an aquarium? Is there a computer store? And if we want to use a plural form, we would use are there. Are there any? Again, we use the word any in questions for the plural form. Are there any? Are there any clothing stores? Are there any supermarkets? Are there any supermarkets? And just like I indicated to you from the beginning, if we're going to use a singular form, then be sure to use singular nouns. If you're going to use a plural form, make sure to use plural nouns. And remember, negatives and questions, we add the word any. Okay? You can comment complement these questions with prepositions such as in, on, or near. For example, is there an aquarium in your city? Yes or no? If yes, you say yes, there is. Yes, there is. Is there a computer store in the mall? In the mall. Yes or no? No. Okay, so you respond, no, there isn't. No, there isn't. Okay. Are there any clothing stores on Main Avenue? Yes, it's a street on Main Avenue. Yes or no? Yes? Okay, so you would respond. Let me move these. Yes, there are. Are there any supermarkets near your house? Yes or no? No? No, there aren't. Okay? So, this is the way that you would use questions for existence. I use the examples of places, but you can use any noun that you need to use. Okay? For example, food, toys, clothes, etc. Okay, so this is all for today. I hope you liked this video. See you soon.